We've been running the campaign now for about 3 weeks. We've reached about 3.5 million people. I think what's been like the main thing that's been amazing to see is the amount of conversations people have been having off the back of every post, supporting each other, saying how they've had similar experiences and really relating.
Anyone, whether they are suffering from mental health issues or they have no idea about it at all, it's just a safe place to discuss it. When the CV Scotland thing with the Banner ship kicked off, it was just adamant that we were going to want to kind of get involved as well. You know, we've always said if you've got a platform, we want to use it for positive things if we can. We've done a lot of work in the past with the Lions Barber Collective anyway, who are breaking down massive barriers in the barbering world, about creating a nice safe place in a barber shop for men to kind of let go their feelings a bit more.
What struck me about arriving here today, and I said to the guys, is that you represent the guys 16 to 45 age group that's most at risk for taking their own lives, and they're going to see that, and it's going to reach out to them, and they're going to say, well, if these guys can do this, then maybe I can do it as well.
I had a gentleman come in. I love Scotch whisky, and I've got about 20 in the shop. And you doing, mate? You're right. You know, can I get you a whisky? Yeah, I'll have one of them. Sits down in the chair and he says, I'm going to tell you something. It's going to ruin your day. Never met him before in my life, and he sits there and he says, found my son hanging, and we've just buried him. Now, what do you say to that sort of situation? The amount of empathy, the amount of sympathy, the amount of time that you're going to give to that person in that half an hour, maybe even stretch it out 45 minutes. You need really good communication skills. You think about time spent with a barber and time spent with a GP. When you last went to your GP, how long did you stay with your GP for?
10 minutes.
5-10 minutes if you're lucky. With us, 30 minutes. I sat in here for a couple of hours today, and I've seen the lads spending 45 minutes with people, making them look fantastic. And that 45
every 4
minutes,
weeks as well.
Yeah, that 45 minutes can make a world of a difference.
I lost my dad and my brother to suicide, and he was 21, I'm 27, and up until I was 21 I absolutely feared that 21 mark was terrifying for me, and then every year I make it past that, for me it's just like a milestone, and I know that sounds a bit intense, but for me it's just a deep fear. So if I can relate to a client who's maybe lost someone, I've had a client exact same sort of scenario, he just lost his mum, same sort of scenario, and if you can just relate and say that you're not the only person feeling that way, then I think that just makes them, like somebody says, feels less lonely. Like,
it's almost comforting to know that you can be there for someone, but as a barber that struggles with mental health, it's nice for me to know that there's other people going through that as well. So some of the things that guys might bring into the barber shop or ladies bring into the barber shop is maybe something that you're going through, and yeah, there's almost that two-way street that although you're helping them, you can maybe be helping yourself at the same time sometimes.
you don't feel as isolated.
Yeah.
I feel personally, you don't understand why you're unhappy if you've got everything good going for you, but at the same time you could have all the money in the world and the best car and the best watch, but you're still dying inside.
Yeah.
And I just think
mental health doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't discriminate.
matter.
I think that's a very powerful thing.
This is why the two aspects of the campaign are so important, the digital and the barber shop, because for a lot of people, talking about the stuff that we're talking about isn't easy to do. Like I say, you did it to start with from a personal reason, just to help yourself, but the response that other people could finally look back and maybe just respond to it and feel something similar in that and help each other. That's the biggest thing. It's just to break down this thing that it is okay to talk. It's okay not to be okay.
It needs to start with, like, you need to realise that you don't need to be mentally ill to look after your mental health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I totally.
Even when you're on a high with life, doesn't mean your mental health's not there.
I used to say, oh yeah, I suffer with my depression, I suffer with bipolar disorder. But even like little things for me now is like, I live with bipolar disorder. Like even little things like that, just taking away the negativity from like suffering, where it's like, oh, this is just part of who I am now.
Yeah,
Even Tommy saying that, it's totally exposing yourself, but I think it's something we all need to start doing.
It's an everyday thing, it's everywhere. It's when you're getting your hair cut, or it's when whatever you're doing. Mental health is an important thing.
Fighting for someone to talk to. They won't even know you're